What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I thank you for taking the time this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Still reeling from that game last night. We talked about it. Hope you were able to tune into the post-game show. Had a post-game reaction. We talked about the refs, but we talked about how this team struggled. So go check that video out. Let me hear your thoughts. But I'll be back tonight live for a terrible Tuesday, and we'll be talking this game. But right now, I've got some news for you. So let's talk about it. Now, Dallas Goedert dealing with a shoulder injury last night. We saw that egregious face mask tackle that the entire world was able to see, and that the refs decided to ignore to help the Washington Commanders. So it was pretty bad. We all saw it. We saw the refs doing their best to help out Washington over and over and over, from the C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Brandon Graham penalties. There was so much, but not here to blame refs. Don't care. The Eagles should have just played better. But when he gets his face mask ripped down, Dallas Goedert, during that play, he ends up landing on his shoulder badly because, well, his face is completely turned to the side. So, yeah, pretty bad. But let's talk about Dallas Goedert. So we all know what he's meant to this team. We were able to trade away Zach Ertz, this dude, tight end, 165, 256 pounds in his fifth year, 27 years old, second-round pick for the Eagles. And he's got an out in a couple years, but he's still got 5 years on that contract. This is a guy that is a big part of the Eagles' future. This is a big loss. So let's take a look at the production from this year, what we are losing. 9 games with 9 starts, 43 catches, 544 yards, 12.7 yards per reception, 60.4 yards per game, and then 3 touchdowns. So this dude, one of the best tight ends in the game. He can do it all. We talk about the blocking, acting as a receiver, doing it all. We love this guy, and it's an unfortunate loss. This is something we talk about, injuries. They're going to happen. We were lucky for the most part, the beginning of the season. We filled in what we could with certain injuries, but now on the defensive side of the ball, you have Jordan Davis, Avonte Maddox. Now you add Dallas Goedert to the mix. It's a tough blow. So we're going to talk about how you can replace him. One of the things I want to touch on before we get into that, though, is Tyree Jackson, baby. This is your weekly reminder that this dude is coming back, and what perfect timing here, because tomorrow is the day that he needs to be activated off of the PUP list. You guys remember 3 weeks ago, he had his window activated. Therefore, he could practice the last few weeks, but he needs to be activated. He will be activated tomorrow, hopefully. So let's get that done. Most likely he will be. If not, then his season is over, but we could definitely use him. So tomorrow we are going to hope that he is activated off the list, and we will have him back on this roster. But even if you have Tyree Jackson back, how healthy is he? And he isn't the same kind of tight end as someone like Dallas Goedert. So let's talk about some of our other options. We talk about the fact that, we've got Calcaterra and Stoll. Calcaterra playing that F-type tight end. Jack Stoll playing more of that H-back, your second tight end. And then you've got Dallas Goedert, who is your Y tight end, who can play all of the above, dude. And I think, he is top 3 for me, and you just don't replace that. But Tyree Jackson, more of an F-type tight end, receiving type guy, but trying to get better at blocking. He was a quarterback at Buffalo, came into the league, went to the Buffalo Bills as a quarterback, but now he has transitioned, and we are trying to make him a tight end. He's done pretty well in the first couple of years, but some injuries have definitely nagged him. So you can't really rely on Tyree Jackson right here, right away. So let's talk about what the Eagles look like here. And let's take a look at this depth chart first, what this does with Dallas Goedert out. So you look at the tight ends here. Jack Stoll becomes your number 1. Grant Calcaterra there. So however you want to use them, 2 different type of tight ends. I'm sure you'll continue seeing 12 personnel here, but you've got Tyree Jackson hopefully coming off the PUP list to add to the room. But now Dallas Goedert out. We'll see if he goes on the IR. So, he's got a shoulder injury. We don't really know if he's going to be on IR, but it sounds like it's that severe that he could miss a few games. If he's not on IR, that means he'll probably only miss 2 or 3. If he goes on IR, he has to miss at least 4. So, we're going to want to do something here. So let's take a look at the practice squad. Now, none of these guys, are out here are going to replace Dallas Goedert. I'm just saying you want to add to this room. Now, Noah Togiai, I believe, was elevated 1 time so far this year. So he could be elevated 2 more times without having to go through the waiver process. So you could elevate Noah Togiai on game days, or maybe a guy like Auden Tate, who we talked about when we signed him. Go check out that video we did about him, a little breakdown, talking about Auden Tate's size and how the Eagles could try to use him as a tight end. Now, again, he would be an F-type tight end. He isn't replacing Dallas Goedert there, but that just adds somebody else to the mix. So you've got Noah Togiai here. You've got Auden Tate. We'll see if one of those guys will be elevated for game day. Maybe they add them to the active roster, but we've got one open roster spot with Avonte Maddox going on IR. And if Dallas Goedert goes on IR, well, then that adds another open roster spot. So we'll see what the Eagles decide to do, but looks like most likely Dallas Goedert is heading to IR. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know down below how you're feeling about this, but I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. I'll be back later tonight going live for Terrible Tuesday. We'll be talking about this damn game, so I hope to see you then. Hope you're having yourselves a great week. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!